Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Ken. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be answering a question that I received about LUFS and streaming platforms. So it's a long answer, and it's a common topic of conversation nowadays, especially with all the different streaming platforms and the loudness war. But the question is, man, I have an unsolvable question regarding LUFS in the last few weeks. I heard mix engineers say they mix for streaming platforms at -13 LUFS. However, when I checked certain tracks on Tidal, my meter showed a long-term -9 LUFS, sometimes even -8. I've heard various debates about whether I should aim for -13 LUFS or the opposite to really kick it up a notch and not worry about it. So I don't know where the truth lies. All right, don't ever limit yourself to -13 LUFS or whatever these streaming platforms are saying their loudness is. The reason why is because it's just complete BS. Most of these streaming platforms, they do have a loudness normalization feature, but usually it's not on by default. You actually have to go into your settings and enable it. So I've actually done multiple tests where I've routed the audio out of the streaming platforms into my DAW and measure the loudness of the songs, and it always comes up as -9 LUFS, -8 LUFS, or it's never limited. And I'll even show you guys right now. I'll pull up this loudness session that I have. I basically have this session in Studio One that is set up to where I can route the output of my browser or a program, and it'll come into Studio One, and I can measure the loudness. So this is Apple Music. I'm going to play my song because I know how loud I mastered the song. This song was pretty loud. I'm not going to lie. It might have been a little too loud. So if we play the song, as you can see, it's coming in the Studio One hot. But this is -8 LUFS, -7 LUFS. So there's no normalization happening right now. And I'll even pause and go to Spotify, and it's the same exact loudness, -8 LUFS. So even Spotify, there's no normalization happening right now. Like I said, though, there are settings that you have to go into your settings and actually enable the normalization. So pretty much don't ever limit yourself to what these streaming platforms or what people are saying online is the loudness that they're going to bring the song down to, and it's really because of two reasons. So first of all, it's because it just doesn't happen. They don't bring the song down. And two, first of all, every genre of music has a general LUFS range that is meant for that genre. And within those genres of music, every song and every mix is going to have a loudness, an LUFS target that is suitable for that mix. So obviously, there's a saying that loudness is based on the mix. The mix is really going to determine how loud the song can be. So pretty much every song is going to have its own sweet spot for LUFS. For example, a song might actually sound better at -9 LUFS compared to -7 LUFS, for example. And that could be because of various reasons. But most of the time, when you start pushing a track up to really loud levels, like -7 LUFS and above, you start to lose dynamics. So it becomes harder and harder to actually get the song louder and louder without losing dynamics and punch and other stuff, transients and all that. So you have to find that sweet spot for each song, which is really important. There's different ways you can do that. One way that is pretty easy is you take your mix, you load up a FabFilter Pro L2, and if you hold Option on Mac, I believe, or Alt on PC, if you hold that button and bring up the gain, it'll bring down the output at the same time. And then once you start pushing it up, once you start to hear the kick or like the bass or the punch disappear and the level of the song starts going down, once you back off a little bit, that's your sweet spot. And if you bring the output back to normal, whatever loudness that is, whatever LUFS it's reading, is probably the sweet spot for that song. So that's a good way to test where the sweet spot is for the song you're working on. And it's just a reference. It might not be right every time. It's something that usually works for me. But yeah, going back to the question though, I heard mix engineers say they mix for streaming platforms at negative 13 LUFS. Now, mixing at negative 13 LUFS is not a bad idea. I think most mixes that I work on generally land. I like to mix. I like to get my pre-masters and my mixes at around negative 6 decibels before I start mastering. And usually that does end up being at like negative 14 LUFS. But however, when I check certain tracks on Tidal, my meters show long-term negative 9, sometimes even negative 8. Yeah, but that's because they're not turning down the song. So don't ever limit yourself to that negative 13 target or whatever. A song that's negative, let's say 8 LUFS, let's say Spotify actually did bring it down to negative 13. If you compare that song that was negative 8 and it's brought down to negative 13, if you compare that song or that file to the original negative 13 mix, for example, the one that was brought down is probably gonna sound better because of, like I said, most songs have a sweet spot of loudness. So that's something to realize too. Like, even if these streaming platforms were bringing down every single song, no matter what, you should still master it loud anyway, because it's gonna most likely 90% of the time sound better. That's another thing I think a lot of people don't realize. So yeah, overall, don't ever limit yourself. You got to do what's right for the track, what feels right for the track. That's all that matters. If you guys have any questions about this, definitely leave them in the comment section below. It is a big topic of discussion today, especially nowadays with the loudness war. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe. If you guys need any mixing or mastering, hit me up, email me, DM me on Instagram. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.